Hey, my name is Nyako. Welcome to OB Studios. In today's video, we are going to create a portfolio photography website. In this website, we're going to have a few sections that you should know of before we start. We're going to create our header, our hero section, our service section, a tutorial section. We're going to have our portfolio section. And last but not the least, we're also going to have an inquiry and form section. These are the sections that we are going to create. And at the bottom, we are going to have a very simple footer section without doing too much with that. So these are the parts of the website that we'll be tackling today. Hopefully you'll learn something or you are able to pick up on one or two things when it comes to breakdance. So now let's head into WordPress and start building this design that we have created using Adobe XD. So going back to WordPress, we're going to install Breakdance plugin. So go to our plugin section and then click on add new. Okay, so over here, we're going to upload our plugin that we're going to use. All right, so I've uploaded. I am now installing the plugin on my WordPress website. All right, so the plugin has finished installing. That was really quick. I'm going to activate the plugin. So I'm just going to click on finish setup. All right, so after clicking on that, there are a few things that we still need to do to set up our environment for a better and a swift design. I'm going to go to appearance, then go to theme. Okay, in the theme section, you can see that these things are all grayed out, meaning that Breakdance is not using it. So the best thing I'm going to do is to delete all these themes that we are not using. All right, that is really good. We've deleted the theme that we do not need. The next thing to do is to check our permalinks and then choose post name and save it. So we have fixed the first thing that we need to fix. That is fixed. The next thing to do is to go into Breakdance settings. And then make sure that we're going to deal with global styles when we are there. Our theme, we disabled it. We are not using WooCommerce, so we don't really have to bother ourselves with this. This is a personal website, so we don't have to bother ourselves with user access. Maintenance mode. So maintenance mode is something that we have to set up if people by chance would end up on our page. If let's say I already connected my website name, and then I already told people that I'm building a website, and then they click on the link, you do not really want them to see you in the process of building. You want to have a page that tells people that the website is coming. This is where we can do that. So at the moment, we are not going to set up a maintenance page. We're going to leave it like that. We come back here for performance. Over here, there are a few performance things that you can check to make your website more faster. We're not going to check any of that. We're going to finish building our website. After that, if we need to check any of this performance, we'll come back and do that. The next thing is API keys. So let's say you don't want, when you create your form, you want your form to be secured so that you don't get too much spam. You will be able to use recapture and other stuff. So there are a few things over here that if you want to activate, you can activate using API keys. The next thing is post type. For this very website, we are going to use only pages. We are not going to use any post. So I'm going to check pages and then just click on save. And then the next one is to go to advanced. Over here, we're not going to check this because they are security risks, and then we do not really need it for this website. Design library, we are going to skip this. We don't really need to touch it at the moment. Custom code, we are not going to touch it. And then over here, we're also not going to touch anything over here at the moment. All right, so that is we going through the settings panel of Breakdance. We have really touched the ones that we really need to touch. The rest of it, we're not going to do anything. We're going to head into our next phase of the build. All right, so next thing that we are going to tackle is to go back to our design. For me, I start from the top. So I want to tackle everything over here. We have services, we have our menu or our header. So I'm going to tackle that first by adding these, by creating our menu. So let's go back here and then go to Appearance, Menus. Over here, I'm going to call it Main Menu. That's the name of my menu. And then click on Create. All right, so this is a one-page website, meaning that we don't have multiple pages. So what we are going to do now is to create links to other spots on the page of the website. But before we even do that, we have to get into the build. But we just want to create the names first. So first, I'm just going to put a hash over here and then give it the first name, which is everything is in capital letters. So let's make sure that we do that and then click on Create. The next one, Portfolio. Classes, and then Contact. All right, so we've created the 4-part menu section over here. So we are done with that. The next thing that I'm going to do is to create a page. Make sure that I save this. All right, so I'm going to call this page OB Studios. I'm still in capital letters. All right, so that is the name that we're giving to our page. All right, so that is done. I'm going to go to my settings and then go to reading. And then I'm going to set that page as our home page. So that is good. But we're making sure that we clear up the things that are really needed before we even begin creating our website. The next thing over here is to remove all of these stuff. I don't need them. I don't want to see them. So by clicking on this screen option, I'm going to remove everything over there to make this one look a bit clean. The next thing I'm going to do is go back to the plugins. I don't need this, so I'm going to delete that. I don't need this too, so I'm going to delete that. All right, so these are, this is the only one that I need. The next plugin that I'm going to install is called SVG. I'm going to install this first one. All right, so these are the two things that I need to start building my website. All right, so this is really good. The next thing is to go back to our design and then look at what we should start first. All right, so we have some assets over here. Assets pertains to the images that we have, the icons and everything like that. All of these assets, I have already exported them out of Adobe XD. So I'm not going to do any exportation of assets. I'm going to show you the assets that are already ready. So over here, you can see that we have our images and other stuff like that. So we are not going to export them anymore because they are already ready. What I am going to do is to make sure that every image over here is optimized for design. So let's go to here and then look for a WebP format website. So we're going to use bulk resize. Okay, so we can drag images here. So let's go in and then copy everything and then drag it over here. All right, so when you do that, it will ask you like what kind of file that you want. Our image format that we want is WebP. We're going to leave this transparent background on. The reason why we're going to leave it on is that for some of our files, we have PNG. We didn't sort them. We uploaded everything at once. So I didn't sort them. If I did, the ones that do not need transparent background, I wouldn't check this. But since everything is smushed together, that's why I'm leaving this on. After that, I'm going to click on Start. All right, so our image is done. And right after it finished, it downloaded the image for us. So what we're going to do now is extract them from the zip file and upload them to our website. All right, the next thing that I think I want to do is name these images properly. Proper image naming will go a long way in helping you have better score when it comes to ranking. So the images that are meant for different things, I'm going to name them. I'm going to give them like a name for, let's say this one, this, that. These are all the wedding section images. So I'm just going to rename for them Obi photo weddings and then underscore like that. Just rename. So those are renamed. The ones for fashion, I'm going to also rename those. All right, so now we have renamed all our pictures to the names that will fully describe them. Naming your pictures correct is also a best way for Google to know what kind of image they are looking at. And also, when it comes to accessibility, naming your pictures correctly is also a good way for people who cannot see to be able to access your website and be able to read the image name for a description of the image. So that's why we are naming them. All right, so right now we have everything set up here. The next thing we're going to do is to import these images into our WordPress website. All right, so back to the back end, go to media and then add new. Over here, I'm going to drag all the images. All right, now all our images have uploaded to our WordPress website. Let's go to media, and then you can see that we have all our images ready for the site build. All right, so these are some of the prerequisites and things that you really want to do before you start your website. You do not want to start your website without knowing what images you are using or where the images are going or what size the images should be. And that is why it is important to make sure you build your website on either Adobe XD or you use Figma or any other tool that is going to help you make sure that things are streamlined, because you'll be able to build a site in, let's say, a day if you have already spent time designing it in Figma or Adobe XD. To make it much easier and faster for you to do that, rather than just come on your development platform, whether it is WordPress or whatever that you're using, and start building. That way, it's not going to help you. That way, you're going to spend a lot of time getting frustrated about something that you shouldn't be. So just keep that in mind, that you build only after you have designed. Build only after you have designed. Do not build and design at the same time. That one will frustrate you and you're going to spend too much time and your design might not be even coherent. So that's a little pep talk. All right, so now let's start building our site, which is the fun part. All right, so to build our site, there are still a few things that we are going to use. One of those things is make sure that our styling and our font, everything is on point. To do that, I already have a style master here in Adobe XD. My colors that I'm going to use, the font and typography and the sizes that I need, everything I have laid them down over here, meaning that I'm going to copy these things into Breakdance and then use it to build my website. Without doing this, I will be shooting blind, and I really do not want to do that. I don't want to be picking the font and the colors fresh all the time. I want to just go in and start building. So before I even start building, I'm going to make sure that my assets, that is my colors and my typography, is imported into Breakdance. So we're going to do the importation of these assets, and after that, we're going to start building the website. All right, so back in our dashboard, we're going to go to pages. Even before pages, right? Let's go to Breakdance and go to settings. In the settings, we're going to go to global styles. Here is where we're going to put in our colors and our typography. We're going to launch Breakdance. All right, so this is not like a page that we need to use now. This is just something that we need to import our colors. So colors first. What are our brand color? So I'm going to go back to here. For me, my brand color is this. I'm going to right click and then copy color. And then just paste it in here. So color number 1. our text. Our asset. Our accent will be for my links. Then heading will be the same thing as this. And then background. So I'm just going to select this, go to the fill, and then copy that over there. And then paste it in here. All right, so these are the stuff that I need for my design. So if, let's say, I can add a few more, I do have this, which is like pure white. So I'm going to add, I have like 1 or 2 colors that I need to add, which cannot fit over here. This is a limited number of spaces. But if you have more colors, where you can add those colors is via the palette. So the palette can hold more colors that I need. So I'm going to go in and then copy the head code over here and give this one a white. And then add the color. And that is good. All right, so I believe I have all my colors ready. So that is how simple it is. Now I don't have to imagine what color that I want to use or whatever. I'm not going to touch the button now. I'm going to go to typography and then do type. Type is going to take a bit of time because we have like a whole array of sizes around. So this is going to take a bit of time. So let's see if we can run through this fast, and then after that we're going to go on and then do the other stuff that I needed. So with this, I'm not going to touch any of this over here. I'm going to save this, click on that, and then go back to our dashboard. Make sure that this is saved. All right, in our dashboard, where we want to go is pages. On pages, we're going to click on this and then click edit and Breakdance. What we are looking for specifically is to be able to add our custom font. For you to be able to have an even faster website, we have to add our own font to our website. We do not want to use fonts that are provided by Google or by Adobe. We want to install our font. The font that we're going to use today is it's called Space through Text. So what I'm going to do is go and then type in the word space already. All right, so this is the font that we want to use. The font it belongs to Google. So even though we can just go in here and then use the one that is being provided by Google, but we don't want to do that because Google will punish you for even using that. So what we want to do is to download the fonts locally and upload it by ourselves. With that, you don't get penalized as much as using the ones that Google provide natively within the builder. All right, so we're going to download the whole family by clicking on this. All right, so let's open that up. All right, so this is the one that we need. All right, so as you can see, these are the font that are mostly needed. But we need to upload this to our website. And over here, you don't really have the opportunity to download the one for the web. So to do that, we're going to go to another website. We're just going to type in OTF to WOV2. So WOV2 is the web format when it comes to font. You cannot use OTF, the normal font, for your website. You have to convert them to WOFF2. That is what we're going to use. All right. So open space group text, go to static, and upload everything from here. And then let's convert it. So everything is ready for download. I'm going to download everything. All right. So we can delete that and also delete this and open the new one. All right, so now we have our font in web format. So what we're going to do is go back to our design. All right, so over here, the ones that we do have is medium, regular, and bold. So those are the three that we need. So we're going to go back. And then in here, click on these three icons and then click on preference. In the preference, we want to go to custom font and then click on add font. Let's copy the name of our font, which is that. And then let's paste the name over here. Delete. This should be the general name. This should not be the different variations. So our font is called, let's call this one LC means local. All right, so this is the name. We're just going to click on add. So that is added. So we're going to upload the ones that we really need. Right, so we need the bold, the medium, and the regular. Let me close this. All right, so the medium, we should just go down here. The medium is 500, regular is 400, and bold is 700. So these are the three types that we need, the font types that we need for our website. So we just uploaded just those. So as you can see, we are making sure that things that we do not need, we are not adding it to our site. We are only adding the stuff that we need. That is why it is important, just to say again, make sure that you have designed your website first. By doing that, you know what you need and what you do not need. So we need this font. We have uploaded it. All right, so that is pretty good for that. We still have to continue doing our global styling. So over here, I'm going to go back to global styling. We finished with our colors. Now we're going to head into our type. All right, so for our type, go to presets, and then let's start adding what we need. All right, so the first one, just going to close this for now and go here. The first thing that we need, we can start from the bottom. So I'm just going to copy this, right? So that is copied. And then let's add the name over here. The font family should be this. The size is 219. The weight is bold, so it should be that. And then, so what I'm going to do is to make sure that highlight it on the canvas. So this, you can see that this is 250. The line height is 250. So go to advanced, click here, paste that, change from custom to pixels, and that should be good. Also, this is in capital letters. Everything that is under this is in caps. So I'm going to make sure that I also change this into caps. So that is good. So you have seen how we do the first one. I'm going to now run through this so that we don't have to just keep sitting here waiting for this to be done, because we still have a few more to go. So this is the last type that we needed to add, which is for the links underneath the service section. So we've added the last one. And so this concludes the one for our typography preset. So I'm just going to close that. And then we have that attached. We can come in and then add a few things, like we can just say this should be this should be that. And that should be okay. All right, so that is good. Next then is to do our buttons. So there's a button, our primary. I think we have only one button type. So that is what we're going to do. Our size, we're going to do a custom size. The top of our buttons are all the same. The top of our buttons are all the same. So I just need to find one. All right. All right, so it's 29, 70, 29, and then 70. So let's do that. So 29 on both up and down, and then 70 on the side, and 29 here. So this is for our padding. So I'm going to close that. The color for our button, the background color, select here, should be that. So as you can see, the colors that we added, we're just picking them. So I'm not going to go back and then pick a color and then come back and do all of other stuff again. So we have add an outline. So let me click on this. Outline is 3. So make sure I pick the 3. The outline color is black. So make sure I pick a color. This and this are the same. So I need a pure black color. So I'm just going to add one here. And then after that, I'm just going to click on that and call this one black. All right, so that should be good. Make sure that, yes, it is a black color. So we have that. The next thing that we can do is consider all our buttons. They have like a shadow type then. So I'm going to find the shadow and do that. Let's do typography too. Type color for our buttons are all white. So click on here and then pick white. Then when we hover on it, we want to make sure that we hover on this. We want the text, yeah, it can remain white. That should be good. Let's choose a preset. We have button text. So this is a button text. So I'm just going to click on that. So that is good. For typography, the corners, right? Do custom, and then on all sides we have a radius of 10. For effects, we need a shadow. So I'm going to add a shadow. And here, when I click on there, you can see that a shadow okay, we have 5 and 5, but we have no blur. So this should also be 5. Blur should be 0, and the spread should also be 0. So that is that on the effect. So I think we have actually finished adding what we need to add. Okay, so for the background color, we wanted to change when we hover on it to that. Okay, that is pretty good. All right, so we are done for our colors, our button, our typography. The next thing that I want to work on is our form. So let's go our form, our field. The color for our field should be transparent. So the backgrounds for this should be a transparent background. And then for our border, I'm going in here and select 1. Our border is 1. So make sure you have border radius. What is the border radius on this? Border radius is 10. So 10 for the radius. Width is 1. And then color is black. All right, that should be good. We want to choose the style of solid. That we don't have any shadow or anything like that. So we're done with that. When it is in focus, I want to make sure that the background is the same, but the border color is this. All right, so let's do typography for the font. So let's make sure that this, okay, we are not using label, we are not using anything, but this is a 20, is an 18. So let's go to a preset, make sure that we have 18. available. So let's choose this for our type when it comes to the value. Our links to, I just want to make sure that this is also 18 like that. So yeah, pretty simple, making sure that everything in here is the same. All right, so for the style for this, we have to also style the button. I think it will inherit a button already, so I'm not going to touch this for now. If it doesn't, I'll come back to this and fix it. I can even test it over here. Let's click on here and look for form. All right, so this is that. I think what I didn't do on this is to make sure go to effect. For the shadow, I need to pick the right color, which is the black. Okay, now it looks good. All right, so it is inheriting or what we have already, so I don't really need to go in and then do anything in the form section. So we're gonna leave this alone. For containers, I'm not gonna touch this container. I'm not gonna touch anything here. So we are done when it comes to adding global styling to our website. We've added our colors. We have done our buttons. We have done our typography. We've done our forms, and we are inching closer to making sure that our website is ready to go. All right, so let me just delete this for now. All right, so as you can see, we've imported everything over here, and I am ready to really get into this and start building the website. So that will be our next thing to do. So we are in the back end of our WordPress website. To build a header, we have to go to the Breakdance section. So hover on Breakdance and then choose headers. Right, here is where we're going to start creating our header. Let's add a new header. Call this one main header. And then apply it everywhere. We're going to leave our conditions because we already applying this condition of location. So we're going to leave priority as 1 and just add it. So that is the creation of the template. All right, so we are now in the design part of the header. First thing I'm going to do is to open up my structure panels and open my element panel too. All right, so what I'm going to add first is a section. There is a dedicated header builder element over here, but I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to use it for this particular design. So the reason is that some of the controls that I need are not in here, and I don't want it. I don't want this to be too much advanced. I want it to be able, like people who are trying to start learning breakdance, they will be able to do this without having to go through too much. So I'm not going to touch this for now. So I'm just going to use a section for the main container. So there's a section, and then inside this section, I'm going to add a div. So this div is what is going to hold this thing over here. So from here to here is the section, but this thing that I've selected now is going to be the div. All right, so for us to start working on it, let's say the main section should have a background of transparent. That is good. The div should have a background of white. That is good. All right, so in here, the width of this div is 1440. So let's copy that and then go to container, and then our width should be that. Let's go back to our section. Make sure that our section also has the 0, and then this is 0 all around. All right, so the size of this section should be full width. All right, back to that. Let's go to layout and then make everything centered inside this section. Right, so that is really good. Next thing I'm going to do is to give this div a height. The height is 103. So make sure that div is selected, and then the height should be 103. You don't really see it, but if I put an element in here, you will see what I'm talking about. The next thing that I want to do is to make sure that the space that we have at the top is really there. Right, so selecting this, so it's 10 pixels to the tab. So go back to section, go back to spacing, tab should be 10. And that should be good. All right, so that is pretty good. We don't have to do much about this anymore. So we're done with this section. Now let's start putting stuff inside our dev. What we have here is an image, and then we have these menu items. So go in here, click on add, and then put in an image for the logo, and then click on add again. And then I'm going to type in menu, and then we're going to choose WP menu. Do not choose menu builder for what I am doing now. But this particular design, I'm choosing WP menu. All right, make sure that we choose the right menu that we have. If we have multiple menus, you're going to see them over here. We have only one menu. That was why this was already showing. All right, so in here, let me click on this div. We want everything to be horizontal, so go to layout. And then in horizontal, I'm just going to click on align space in between. And then on vertical, I want everything to be centered. And then I'm not going to touch this for now. I'm going to come back when I'm ready for responsive mode. All right, image. So I've clicked on this image. I'm going to choose my logo. So that is our logo. Nice, like that. All right, so to the left of this div, we have a 50 pixels on both sides. So go to container and then pattern. On the left, 50 pixels. On the right, 50 pixels. That is pretty good. All right, so I think we have established these things already, which is, yeah, I think this should be fine. We are done basically with this. We just want to make this responsive, and then that should be it. So there's tablet mode, there's tablet, another portrait. This is landscape. Let me click on that. This is good. And then that's not bad. I'm just gonna make sure that this is down a bit more so that we can. This is not too close to that. Not too close to the line. So what I'm going to do, this is still selected. Go here and then go to mobile menu. So in the mobile menu, this are offset, right? Let me type in 0. You consider this moved all the way up. Let me give this like a 90. Okay, that is too far away. All right, so this is good. This is pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so over here, going back to our desktop, the lengths here, we want to make sure our typography is 24. So anything that is 24 should work. Medium. All right, so this is 24, and that is pretty cool. All right, so we do have, as you can, we still need to have the whole curvy and border around this. So the div is selected. Now I'm going to go to, is it on layout? Container. All right, so here's our border. Make sure that this is 10 for the radius. And then the style. What is the size? The size is 1. So I'm going to pick 1. All right, so as you can see, we do have it. We need a bit of space around this. So I'm go back in here and then give this 10. I'll probably give it nothing because when we come here, you can see that these lines are touching it. So we don't really want to separate it too much. But this is basically what we do need. And yeah, and that is it. We don't really have to go too much deep into that. Let's do, all right. So on these other sections, we want to make sure that our pattern is working. So I want to give this a pattern of 10 over here and then 10 over here. The top is already inheriting something from the desktop, so we don't really have to do much. All right, so we need to change something over here. Make sure that go to the div. Remember the div has borders around it. So the left, let's give this a 25. And then the right, let's give this also a 25. All right, so this should be good. Or we can even start the mobile menu from a tablet size like this. But I think this should be good. We don't really have to worry too much about that. Let's go into the mobile section. Okay, this is how it looks. All right, so I think this is okay. If you click on that, all right, that is good. We're going to leave it like that. I think we are satisfied with what we have now for our header. Yeah, so what is next will be our hero section. Let's dive into that and start building it. So I'm going to close and leave here, go back to our back end. So we finished with our header, go back to pages, and on here, edit with Breakdance. Right, so you can see our header is right there, nicely created. Let's start creating a hero section. So we need to add a section. Within a section, let's make sure that we don't have any space, top and bottom. That is really good. Inside, we need to have the this very thin, a line, and then this circle. Right, so what I'm going to do is I didn't export this, so I'm going to export it as an SVG. So roller, I'm going to call it rolling star. Okay, that is good. Right, so in here, let's add an image. So that's an image. Then we need a divider. That is a divider. Next thing that we do need. All right, so that is that we can place everything here in a div. So these two things can be on here. But before we even continue, I want to do a few housekeeping things with the section. So make sure the section is selected. And then this section should be size, the width. I'm going to give it a width of custom 1440. So that is good. And then go to space, make sure that everything is 0 all around. All right, so this is good for now. So an image, and then we have a divider. The next thing that I'm going to do is to add a div. The div is going to have these items in here, and then this one is going to be outside. Or probably the div can house everything over here. Let me do that way. All right, so let's add a div. Let's push this up. This image should be in a div, and then this divider should also be in a div. All right, so in here, we want to, the next thing that we need to add is these items, the tags, and the tags, and then an image. All right, so go in here, add text, and then add heading text. I'm gonna put this at the top. And then outside, I'm gonna add a button. All right, cool. So that is our button, and then these are items. Let me click on this and then add an image. All right, so that is the SVG that we exported. Let me click on, so this should be all the way on that side. I think what I need to do is to take this out. These two should be out. And then I'm going to add a div that is going to hold those. The reason why I'm going to add the div and not leave it over here, because this should be on a different, should be on the right hand side. So clicking on this div, I'm going to make sure go to layout, make sure everything is aligned to the right. All right, so this div, go to our container. The width for this should be in percentage, and then it should be 100%. Okay, that is good. All right, so let's click on these dividers. And then for the divider, it's 10 for that. So click on the divider, go to style, divider. It should be a solid. The pattern, the color should be black, and this should be 10. All right. Can we add radius? We cannot add radius here, so I'm just gonna leave that for now. Yeah, we might try and figure out how to do the radius later on, but as for now, this should be good. Okay, so the space between this and that is 80 pixels. All right, so this div is selected. I'm going to go to spacing, tab, should be 80 pixels down. All right, that is really good. All right, let's go into this div and work on this. Button should be outside. All right, so this div is now the heading text. Okay, we need an image in here, so let me add an image. All right, that is good. So the heading text, copy everything here and paste it. All right, so when you click on enter, the text will go to the next line. So the text is broken to the next line. Now let's make sure that this one is an H1 tag. H1 is the highest form. So Google will say that, oh, okay, this is the text that describes the section. So this section is mostly about OB Studios photos. That's why I'm making this H1. So keep that in mind. Let's go to style and typography. Our color should be white. Sorry, our color should definitely be this color. And then our preset, we need to choose the one that corresponds to that, which is the hero text. I think this is good. What we need now is to make sure that we have the text for this too. So I'm gonna just go in and copy that. As you can see, I'm just picking the things that are pretty much needed for this. All right, so all right, this is good. All right, so long text like that. Let's go into our typography. Make sure that we give it a right color text. And then on the presets, we want to choose the right, because so there's sub text, sub heading. All right, so that is good. The next thing that we need to do is to make sure that we give this, the width is 765. So this is selected, go to size 765. It's a 32 text, right? Let me just make sure that the type is, that is 48. So that's not what we need. Okay, here. I chose the wrong one, but this is what we need. All right, so that should be good. Let me go back here. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to add this image that we have. All right, so the image is selected, go to choose, and then pick this one. All right. What I think I need to do, probably make this a bit bigger. This should be 495. So the width should be 495. If the image is pixelated a little, meaning that we didn't do a good job when it came to downsizing this, we might have to fix that later on. But let's use this image as it is and see what happens. All right, so this is good. The next thing that we need to do to this image is to make sure that we bring it to this side and we push it up. We can do it in so many ways, but what I'm going to use is something called positioning. So the image is selected, go back to this search, and then type in position. All right, so as you can see, you don't really see much. The position I'm looking for is not here because it is in the advanced panel. So when I click on this toggle icon, I get more features. All right, so here I'm going to choose absolute. Make sure that the right hand side is 0, and then the bottom is also 0. All right, cool. So the next thing to do is that I'm going to push this all the way down. I need to find out the height. All right, so this is 158. All right, so 158, or probably from the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to remove this, right? And then give the top a 0. And then make sure, let's put 158. All right, this is good. All right, so you can see that the image is on top of the text, so we can't really read the text. What we need to do is to put the image behind the text. So what we're going to do is click on this text, click on this toggle icon and type in index. make sure that this has an index of 3. And then also, that is good. This also text should also have, click on this toggle icon and type it index. So this also have an index of 3. This is good. And then click on this image, click on this toggle icon and type it in index. Make sure it has an index of 1 or 0. So we're going to choose 1. That is pretty good. All right, so I think we are almost there. The next thing to do is to make sure that the space between the div and the button is accurate. Right, so the space between this and that is 94. All right, so make sure that our div is selected, right? And then go to spacing, bottom 94. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is to make sure that the space between our div and our button is accurate. So as you can see, our div is selected, then our spacing, and then for the bottom, we need this to be a 94 pixel space. So that is really good. All right, so now everything in here is laid. I'm going to click on the section, make sure that the layout for this is centered. So the bottom is also in the center like that. All right, let me click on the button and then change the text. Let me just go and copy this. Perfect. Go to text and paste it over there. All right. Yeah, that is good. We already did the we don't have to go to styling and styling thing anymore. We already did that already, so that is pretty good. We don't have to do much on that. So that is the reason why you should make sure that everything that you need to do, you do it before you start designing. The next thing is to add this divider. To do that, I'm going to go back in here, duplicate the divider we did at the top, and move it all the way to the bottom. All right. Make sure that the space between this and that is accurate. The space is 46.5. All right. I think the space should be more consistent. So I'm going to click on this and then go here, and then the spacing, the bottom, I want to give this one a 50. That is pretty good. So that has been saved. All right, I think that that is perfect for what we want to do for our hero. The last but not the least is to add these lines that we have over here. There's so many ways to do this, but the best way that I have found to do it for it to look more accurate is what I am going to show you. All right, so what I'm going to do is to open this panel, and then let me click on this divider, and I'm going to add a div. All right, so this div, the layout of the container should be in percentage. So make sure this is 100% for the div, and within the div, we're going to have 3 other divs. So div number 1. All right, so for this very div, we want to make sure that the background color is black. The layout, the container, the width is 1. The width is 1, and the height is 100%. All right, so now we have one done. We're just going to duplicate and then duplicate. As you can see, it's stacking on top of each other. So go back to the div and then go to layout and make sure that this is done horizontally in the middle. And then a space in between like that. Or probably you can do like center. So everything is here. And then the gap between these is what? So let me select this. The gap is, I'm just going to zoom in a little. So click on this. Do I have to zoom in more to see it? Okay, it is 459, 459. Right, so for 459, 459. So we have this now. Now what we're going to do is make sure that your div is selected, div that has the lines, and then go down here and then type in position. And then toggle the advanced panel. Make sure that this is absolute. All right. And then I want to make sure that the height for this, we have to define a height that is going to match what we have over here right now. All right, so this is selected. I'm going to clear what we have here and then go to containers. And then for height, we can start playing around. Let's say 100. Let's give like 1,000. All right, so I want to make sure that I can see the lines. So let's make this an index of 5. All right, that is good. Did I define a height for this? 500%. Let's put this into pixels. Do this. 1,000 pixels. All right, let's go back here. 1,000 pixels for that too. Let's do this in percentage. All right, that is too much. Make sure that this 100%. That's covering that. And then in here, you want to make sure this one. So we're going to choose percentage, right? And then let's give this one 1,200. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I click on this section and then type in overflow. And then make sure I click on that. Make sure overflow is hidden so that the lines do not go to the other end of the section. All right, so back to here. This one is done. I'm just going to delete like these ones and just make a duplicate of that. All right, this is pretty good. Let me save it. And then I just want to see how this looks. Let's preview it on the front end. All right, that is good. Okay, what I'm going to do now is to put them behind the design by opening the structure panel. Click on that. And then for index, click on this. Make this a 1. All right, the image that we have over here, we want to make sure that the index for this is 2. All right, so that is really good. Let's refresh and see. Perfect. So the design that we have in XD, let me zoom out, is what we have been able to create here. Let's get going with some of the other stuff that we really need to tackle. The next section, which is this, is going to be this service part. So we need a text, another text, and then we need a column of 3. So let's do add a heading text, and then add a normal text, and then add a 3-column layout. All right, so that is good for them. All right, so this text, we're just going to go in, copy, and then over here, just paste that. That is good. We're going to make this H2 because the H1 is only for this one. So this is going to be H2, and then the text element over here, we're just going to copy, and then also put this over here, and that is pretty good. This will be a normal P text. We don't really have to do much on that. All right, so this, I'm going to go in here and then look for our typography. Make sure our color is good. We don't really have to touch that. On here, I want to look for subheading, which is this. And also here, there's a normal text. So presets, I'm looking for something that is around 18, right? So this is around 24. So service subtext. Good. All right, let's click back on our section. go to layout, make this centered. All right, inside this, what we want to do is to make sure that we have the right size. Our size should be a custom 1440, like that. Let's make sure that our pattern is really done right. So we're going to go to space, top should be 90, and then the bottom should also be a 90 like that. All right. So for our columns, let's start working on that. So a column of 3. The layout of this column, the size, right, should be 1440. Like that. Let's go back to our section. We need to do one more thing. Make sure that this is 0. And then this is also 0. That is good for now. Okay, clicking back on our section, I'm going to make sure that our gap is 20 and it's nice so that things are separated nicely like that. That is good. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is to have these things done in here. We need text, picture, and then a div that's going to have that, or even a button can also do that. All right, when we get there, we will know what to do. Okay, so we need a text. Click on here, and then add heading text, add a normal text, add an image, and then add a button. All right, so I think I might not use a button because a button is specifically like designed for something else. So let's use something like I think a button will be good. So I'm just going to use a button for now. I'm going to reset this into something else. So let's add our text. So that is our first heading text. Cool. This is a size 24. So go to preset, size, we need a 24, service heading text of that. All right, one thing that I think I forgot, but we will still do. This is size 18 regular, so we can go in here with the typography presets, bring down the presets, and then we need service heading, service subtext. That is good. We have only 3 lines. It's a size 18. I chose the wrong one. Body text, right? All right. So the service subtext, I might have done a mistake, so I'm going to fix that. Go in here and then go to global settings. And then for preset, so the service subtext should be 18. Okay, that is good. Let's save that. That's 18, right? And 23 for the line height. So let me just go back again. I might have forgotten one more thing. Subtext. Go to advanced. And this should be 23. Okay, that is good. All right, I'm just going to close that and then close that. All right. For this, it has, let me see. All right, this has a spacing of 34. All right, so 33, 33, right? Yeah, 33. Let's do 33, 33 on both sides. All right, so get this saved. Make sure this is saved, and then we close it. Back, I'm going to open the structure panel. And then for this, let's deal with spacing. Pattern. Top is 20. Let's do 25, 25. So 25. And then 53, 53. 53. 53. And then here you want to also do a 25. So that is good. Let's select our image. All right, let's delete that. And then go into, and then find image, put it down here, choose. All right, that should be okay. All right, so I'm gonna click on that, and then the image, go to the styling, Go to image effect border. All right, the border should be 10. Oh, not the width. Sorry, the border radius should be 10, but this should be 0. All right, that should be good. So click on this button and go to style. Make sure that it's custom, so everything is moved away. I'm going to change the text. All right, let me close this for now. So the text over here is portfolio. Will you copy it? View portfolio. All right, go to styling, custom, background color is 0. There's no outline. The text. All right, let me make sure. Okay, typography should be this. All right, let's go to size, custom, make sure that everything is 0 and apply everywhere. That is really good. We need an icon. So I'm going to go into custom, right? Look for icon, then choose icon, say arrow. This arrow is good. All right, so that should work. We just need to fix our typography. Go to a type. I'm going to choose presets. What is, okay, this is what we need. Perfect. Okay, that is good. What we need now is to separate this in 20. So go to the column, go to layout, and then the gap in here, you want to put 20, nicely like that. What we need to do now is to make sure that this one is separated a bit more. So I'm going to click on the image, go to spacing and add an extra 20 pixel margin to the bottom so that everything looks clean and nice. All right, the background for this is white. As you can see, it's pure white. So go to here, click on the column, and then look for background, and then choose white. And then I'm going to go to, where can I find the border? Layout, size, border. All right, so border radius should be 10. All right, so it has the shadow and other stuff. Like, let's see whether we can recreate that over here. All right, let's add a shadow. The shadow should be black. The blur should be 0. And then this should also be 5. All right, so that is perfect for that. What we need to do is now duplicate this throughout and just change the text that we need to change. All right, so that should go, and then that should be duplicated more than once. Yep, let's just start changing the wording here, and then we should be ready to go. Right, make sure this is an H2. Was this fixed? All right. Okay, this should not be an H2, it should be an H3. Sorry for that. It is below these, so that is pretty important to do. It's good if you are considering adding SEO to your site. So if you really want to get into the dirty things of SEO, make sure that your tags are also pretty much done nicely, or else Google will be confused as hell when it comes to this. One should be fashion. So let me just make sure that is correct. All right, so that yeah, we can change the text later. That is all right. All right, so this is going to point, this link is going to point to something that we are going to create down there. It is not ready yet, but this is the first thing when it comes to this. Let's change our images. That should be beauty. And then that should be the fashion. All right, so that is pretty much done. We're going to go into the front end. All right, so we have this laid, and that is good. All right, let's go to the next section. section number 2. So for section number 2, we do have text, text, image, text, and button. All right, so let's make sure that this is removed. Close this. So in here, we want to look for text or header, or heading text, and then add just a normal text. Add an image, and what is left? Add one more text. So we can make this one rich text, and then add a button. All right, that is cool. All right, so that's the layout. Let's fix something on a section. Sure that this is 0 throughout, and then at the top, we want to make sure that you have a 90. All right, I already have a 90 over here, so we're not going to do the top, but for the bottom, we're going to have a 90, and that is good. All right, so this text needs to change to be photography. Sorry, let's click back on the section and then go to layout. Make this centered. Let's go to typography. I'm gonna just change this on to H2. Presets for typography. This is service. I think that's okay. It inherits the service text 48. Right, and that is good. There's a second text. Okay, so here I might have done a mistake. The layout is wrong. We do need what you call it? We might need a div to do this. So let's do that. So let's say we are over here. I'm gonna put this text in here and then add a div. Put a div at the top. And then in here, so this is done. Let's go into typography and then preset, choose the very first one. All right, that is good. Now I need to add this image. I don't think I exported it, so I'm going to export that again. Then call them creative bars. All right, so that is done. And then in here, I want to make sure that I do have an image. Okay, that is pretty good. So this is here, image. Now let's add what we just exported. All right, add that to this. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of hard time to do this, but we're still going to do it. Okay, one way that I can do this is to like put this over here. Right, so this text can be like the two texts. So creative. So creative class 219. All right, part 1. Okay, in here, let's go to text and then add this. I think we might have to fix the line height a bit because it seems too far out. Yeah, we want to be a bit more, not too close, but yeah, it should be a bit more close. All right, so this is this. What I'm going to do is to click on this and then wrap this in a different div, right? So go up like that and then put this inside here and then click on this main div and make it horizontal. So say everything in here, with space and a center. And then it should be horizontal, middle. Am I doing the right thing? Probably not. Let's click on this section and then go to size. And within the size, let's do custom, not the height, the width. Custom, right? Make sure that this custom is 1440. All right, so that should be good. And then on this, we want to make sure that when we go over here, we do have, instead of center, we do have this at the top. Looks like this is not responding to the idea that I have in my head. So what I'm going to do is have this and this in the same place. Go back to the text. So this text, and then remove this part of it. All right, and then within this div, I'm just going to go to container, make sure that this is 100%. And then this one too, the container should be 100%. All right. So this is here and this is there. Let me just go back, look for layout. So within this layout, I want this to be centered. And then I'm just going to click on this text. I need to remove more of the line height. So it to be centered like that with the text that we have here. I think this is good. Yeah, okay, that works fine. Next thing to do is to let's duplicate this text, right? You see this? Let's make sure that the text in here is that. All right, I think we did it. And then click on this one and then give the gap probably of 20. And it should work. Yeah, it should work perfect like that. All right, let's click. I think our section is already selected. Go to layout. Give this a 20 like that too. So we have a bit of space there. Okay, I'm just going to click on this div. Give it a bit more. I think it's good. Don't really have to do much. Let's add an image. So this is our image. Click on that. Choose. And then let's choose the image that we need. And that is also really good. All right, rich text. Body text. Make sure selected. I'm going to paste everything here. H2. Let's make it H4. That is right. H4 is better. And then let's go to typography. So for H4, probably shouldn't be H4. It should just be like a normal. Okay, so there's a paragraph text. So that is good. So let's choose paragraph. We can leave the color there and then go to preset and body text. All right, that is perfect for what we are doing. Let me just click on this image, right? Width is 1105. So I'm going to click on this and then change the width to 1105, which is not good. Okay. And this should be better. Okay, 1115 is good. 1115 should work. All right, and this one is move to the, go back in here and then click. It should be left centered. All right, go back into pattern. This one doesn't give you an option, so on the default, give this like that. All right, so it should work now. That's pretty good. So join our course, copy that, put a text over here. This will be linked to something else when we are ready for that. So that is how you go about doing that and then also doing this. Okay, let's make sure that this text have the right H2, right? That is good. It's a paragraph text, and then that's a button. All right, so that is good. Let's add our next section. That is our next section. Our next section has our portfolio images. All right, that is good. Now that should be fun. So let's add in a gallery. Nice gallery. All right, so within the gallery, we want to do multiple. And then let's start adding some stuff. This one should be called weddings. All right, that is good. And then let's add an image. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. The next one should be called beauty. Add an image. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that is all for that. We also chosen that. The beauty, the last but not the least, should be fashion. All right, let's add this. So for fashion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so that you know, all the images that I'm using here are mine from either the wedding or the beauty or the fashion. So all the images here are my images, so I don't have to attribute it. I did a mistake here. I need to go and make sure that I close, but the bottom should be, this one should be 0. This one also should be 0. The bottom should be bottom should be 90. All right, that should work. Okay, cool. Now let's start making a little more changes here that we need. All right, we need to create the bar. Let's have all the filters. So when you click on all, everything shows. And then when I click on wedding, only the wedding show. We don't need a light box, so I'm going to remove the light box. Image, I want it to be full. We can lazy load. There's nothing wrong with that. Go to the styling. All right, the layout, we're going to do masonry. Okay, that's fine. The columns, we're going to do, should we do 2? No, we have 3, so we're going to do 3. Is it 3 or 2? It's 2. So we're going to do just 2. And then the space in between, in the space, it's a 5. I think at 3 is a better design option for what we're doing now. Right, that is good. Back again to here, we want to do our width to be 40. All right. So yeah, that is good. 1440 for this. So let's do a bit more design. So layout, gap, vertical, slider. We're not going to touch anything at the moment. Background. Yeah, if you have a light box, then you can do all of that. We don't have a light box. Border here, we need to make this into a 10. Right? Yes. So our images have that. One more thing, when you hover, I want it to zoom out. Okay, zoom in. Okay, that is pretty nice. Yeah, that's good. I'm not going to touch anything else. Caption, I don't need caption. There is no light box. Filter bar, position, center. Space between is a 5. Let's go up so we can see it. This should be a pill. No, it should be a bar. All right. Then the underline, we want to make sure the underline is 0. We don't need an underline. The color. So there's a few things that we need to do. Background. So when it is inactive, we want the color to be this. And then when you hover on it, we want the color to be that. And when it is active, then we can choose one more. Yeah, we can do that. Or probably we can do something more, what you call it, in between this. All right, so that is good. Our typography, when you hover, we want white, a normal white, then active also white. And when it is just inactive, we want to also make it white. Yeah, we shouldn't change the color to anything else. All right, for the typography, doing more of the typography, right? Go to typography and then presets. What we have here is a size 24 medium. So let's look for anything that is within 24 medium. So 24 medium, I'm gonna choose that. Oh, probably let's choose this. All right, cool. So 24 medium, nicely. Yep, I think we are all set for this. Is pretty done. Now let's save it. Let's look at it at the front end. All right, that is cool. All right, let's do our next section. Our next section is going to be, okay, I think we missed one more thing. We have a button over here. So let's go into, let's click this and then click on button. Then click on the section, go to layout, make everything centered. Click on the button and then let's say start a project, copy that and paste it. All right, that is good. The next thing is to add the next section that we have. So go in here and then section. This section is our form. So we need a text, heading text, normal text, and then the form. All right, so let's close this, then close that, and then go to space. Make sure that everything is 0 on all the side. And then down here, you want it to be 90. All right, that is good. All right, let's add our heading text, add our normal text, and then add our form. All right, that is pretty good. Our form is 549. So make sure we click on our form. Go to styling container. This should be 549. Good. Click back on the section. Go to layout and make this center like that. Click on the heading. Copy that. And then over here, I'm just gonna post an inquiry. Down here, let me copy the text also over here. And then change it to this. That is nice. All right. This is 48. So we need to go in here, go to typography, go to preset, look for something that is around 48, which is this. That is cool. And this text is 24 regular. So make sure it's selected. And then let's look for something that is 24 regular. Okay, medium is okay. Doesn't change anything. Right. What I'm going to do is, this is kind of different. I don't think I made it. So I'm going to remove that. Close this and then also make this one regular 400. Okay, that is good. And then let's give this thing some breathing space. Add a 20 pixel for breathing space. Hold this, and then in the form section, we need to make things happen. But let's go to our form, and then on here we need name, email, service, service date, and comment. Okay, name, email, service date. So this can be comment. Change this one to comment. Go to advanced, and then make sure that, all right, we're gonna fix that later on. So name, add a field, and this should be service. So service shouldn't be a field, it should be a select. All right, so name should be service. All right, the options, let's say, we have only 3 services. 1, 2, 3. So wedding, beauty, and fashion. Let's do wedding. Beauty. Fashion. Okay, wedding. Let's fix the wedding spelling. All right, so this is good. The height for the field is 70 pixels. So let's see whether we can fix that. Go to design. Okay, one more thing that we need to add is the date. Move this up and then change this one to date. Yeah, and then just make this one date. Okay, everything is in caps, so I will need to fix that one, but that is good. Date, select your date. All right, cool. So in here, advanced placeholder, copy that. Okay, add your comment, close that. I'm going to remove the comment from here. Okay, that is good. The date to remove the label, go to advanced and then type in. Right, probably for the date, I might have to leave. Yeah, we can leave that. We don't really have to type in date. All right, select email. Let's go to email. So for email, remove the label, go to advanced and type in email. It should be caps email. And then let's look for full service. Okay, full name. So for name, remove the label, go to advanced, and then add placeholder name. All right, if you want to make it required, you can say the required symbol is over there. The next thing that we need to do, email to make sure that it's required. The service field, also make sure that it is also required. Placeholder, you can say service, and then 3 dots, and that should be good. All right. Okay, so when you add that, when you go to the service field, right? Go to advanced, go to the service field. Service field should be here. Go to advanced, and I'm going to remove the service away. Also, it makes it selectable. All right, so this is the form, and then the action that you wanted to take. If you wanted to send an email, make sure that that one is selected. A new email. Service, and then all fields. So those are other stuff that you want to add. All right, so the email that you need, reply to, you can add no available. You can put like the email. If you want to like do a normal email, you can add it over here. It's going to send it to the email that you have. New contact. Yeah, this information you can fill out as you need. You can add another email also here. And then you can do this. This can also be an email that is going back to the sender. You can put the sender's email here too, and then you can look for the sender's email that they are using. If they supplied an email, you can put the short code over here, and then you can also send it to them. All right. So that is that for the form. So now what we're going to do is to deal with how to navigate to this part of the website if someone clicks on this. So how we're going to do that is by using an anchor link. So to do anchor link, click on our gallery, go to add, and then look for something called link. Okay, I'm going to add a wrapper link over here. Pull this up and then put the gallery inside the wrapper link. Click back on the gallery, go to the settings, the styling part, and the container, the width, you want it to be 100. All right, so that is good. All right, so what we want to do is that when someone clicks on that button, we want it to come over here. What we're going to do, make sure that the wrapper link is selected. And then go back over here and then look for advanced. In the advanced section, you want to add this ID called, the ID should be called port. All right, that is good. So let's save that and then go up and then click on this view. Over here, we want to have a hash and then port. And also save that. Make sure you have the hash over here and the port, or else it's not going to work. I'm going to refresh this and then go up over here, hover on this, and I see it brings you over here. What I should have done is to remove the wrapper link because we don't need the wrapper link over here. I'm going to bring this out, delete the wrapper link, click on the gallery, go to the settings panel, open advanced, and then put ports over here, and then save it. Go back and then let's refresh. And then click on this. And then it brings you down right there. So anytime someone clicks on that, it should bring them down right here. All right, so we're just gonna do that for every one of these. Click on this, and then that should be good. So let's refresh this. When you hover here, you click, it brings you down there. Click, it brings you down here. That is good. All right, the next thing, we need to also put a link here. So I'm gonna go back. This one is the one that we are clicking. So make sure we have a link. Here should call form. Go back all the way to this very section. Go to the advanced, and then in here I want to put in form for the ID. Let's say form underscore inquiry. Let's copy that. Go up here, then paste this on here. All right, let's go see about a course. All right, we're also gonna do that for this. So that is good. Start a project. Also gonna do that for this too. All right, so one more thing that I need here for the form is to add, go to the service and then add one more called classes. All right, so that is good. So people will be able to choose that one. All right, let's refresh and then see how this is going to work. All right, so it brings you down here. If I click on join course, it brings me down. This one shouldn't take you in because it's very close to. But if you click on that too, it should bring you down here too. So that is that for linking these things to the bottom. The next thing that we need to do is to add our footer. So I'm going to save this. Go to the back end. Hover on Breakdance and then click on footer. Add a footer. So main. Just put in footer. Put everywhere and then add the footer. Let's edit with Breakdance. Okay, over here we need to add footer. Sorry, this is normal section. Section is there. Should we close these things? All right, we have something at the top. So let's go back to our design. You'll see this our footer. We have a normal text, and then social media icons, and then this. All right. So what I'm going to do is to export this as a PNG, right? Sorry, SVG. I'm going to export it as an SVG. That should be good. And all right, let's go in and then do what we need to do. So text. What again? Icons. Icon list, right? Or just icons. All right, and we can do icon list. Just remove the text. Delete the rest. Remove the text, I didn't even remove it. But if you go to the settings and then go to typography, you can make the font size 0. Then when you come here, you can just duplicate it. Make sure that the layout is horizontal. And voila, there you are. So you can go in here. You want to make sure that this, we need Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Okay, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So Instagram. Next then is Facebook. So Facebook. And the last but not the least is YouTube. All right, so that is good. Let's click back on our section, right? Make sure that we do have a bit of spacing. Give this one a 0, and also a 0. Layout is in the middle. And then our gap is 20. That should be good. What we need next is this. So we're going to have icon list, but this one we need only one. And in here, we want to put in break dance. Cool. Now we want to upload our own icon. So let's open this icon, and then I'm going to just drop it in here. I'm going to add it to the icon moon free. Just save that. All right. So when I select this, it should be down here. All right. That is cool. All right. So with that comes, we can make this a bit bigger. What's the size? So the size for this is 43. All right. So let's make it 43. Then the text is an 18. So let's look for typography preset. Let's look for text that is 18, which is that. That is fine. Okay, I'm just going to copy the text. I wrote the wrong one. And here, build with Breakdance. All right, let's fix this one too. So in here we can, all right, what we can do is to use date. Let's look for date. We need to find date. Okay, current date. All right, that is good. Down here, we need to go on format, custom, and then we just need to put in the letter Y for year. All right, so after doing that, we're going to do append and then put in space, this line, then put in the rest of the text. But let's make sure we have a space over here, and that should be fine. Let's save it. I think it's saved. I'm just going to refresh. Let's see what we see now. Right, so we did it. Let's look for copy. Right. You just want to copy a copyright symbol. Where can we find that? Okay, there's one here. Copy. Go here. And then go to advanced. The pre-end. Perfect. Save, refresh, copyright symbol right there. Like that. Really simple. Really nice. All right, so I think we have finished building our footer. We just need a little space underneath there. So click on here, down. Let's give this one a 30. Some breathing space, right? Breathing space. That should be good. All right, so that should be fine. I think we have finished creating the desktop version of this. The next thing that I want to do, since this is a full design, I want to make sure that it is fully responsive. So that is what we're going to try and do from now on. All right, let's go back and then click on Open with Breakdance. But over here, I just want to make sure that this is also fully responsive, so we don't have to come back to this. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, if you want to add links, you can add links over here to the icons. It's a pretty simple thing to do. I'm not going to add any links, but you should add links if you want to. All right, so back to this. Let's make this into that. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is to change the size of so we have to go back into can see that the presets are not what you call it, they are not responsive, as you can see. So you can't do much with this. So you have to go back into custom, and then over here you can just change the size. So what will be a good size for this? You can start with 100, which is small. You can just keep going. Let's say 200, which is pretty big. So let's make this a bit smaller. All right, I think this is good. Yeah, nothing much. Let's go to advanced and then reduce. Make sure you pick pixel. Reduce this one to 150. And that is fine. Make sure that, let's open the structure panel. Let's collapse everything. Let's open only the one that we need. I want to click on this and then give it a spacing on the side. Let's give this probably like a 50 on the left and a 50 on the right. All right, cool. Let's select the text back again and then reduce the size to fit what we have now. All right, that is perfect. The next thing that we're going to do is to deal with the image. So the image, the size, I want to make this probably percentage, right? Let's make this 50%. All right, that is good. I'm going to change the size of this one to typography custom. And then in here, I want to change the size to, let's say a 32. Okay, too big. I think an 18 would be good. Even a 20 would be good. And then we want to change the size up to, it doesn't go too far. I think being here is perfect. Go to advanced and then change, move this one to pixel, then make this one into like a 20. That's two packed together. All right, that is cool. I might want to, this div is selected, right? All right, so I know that I put some space here. Let's make this 70. All right, that is good. I'm going to go back into the image. And then for the image, oh, not this. Over here, for this image, I want to move, what you call it? The modification. The top is 0. All right, what I need to do is to make sure this is absolute. Let's make this 100 so it can come down earlier. Let's do 75. All right, cool. And let's make this a 0. I think this is perfect for this version. All right, I'm going to, click on this, right? And then the space in between, probably bring it a bit closer. Let's say 250. Okay, 250 is, no, not bad, but I think 350 is good. So 350 for that, and I think we are on the right path. All right, so there's the all device, and then there's the smaller version. And so over here, we want to change the size to, let's say, 75. Just pretty small. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. All right, so 122 is the perfect size. Go to advanced, make sure you're choosing pixels. Make this 122. Good. Change the size of this to probably a 16. And on here, you want to make it only be at this level. Be a little more. Okay, that should be good. I can leave the image there. I don't think it's a problem right now. For the button, I might have to fix this a little more. All right, let's go to global styling and see whether we can style it from there. Button, edit. Okay, so for this size, I want to do custom. And then I want to do the top 15, the bottom 15, left and right. I want to do 45, 45. Probably let's do like a 20. I think a 20 like that is perfect. Yeah, so that it is not like too big or too small. All right, that's good. Let's go back to our structure panel. So here, I think we have some space. The top shouldn't be that big. Okay, so that should be good. Then this thing shouldn't, the gap should probably be 150, 300. Yeah, I think 300 is good. All right. I think this works perfect. Probably the gaps should be 20, no, like 50. And then we can make this text a bit bigger. All right, that is good. And then we can also make this still 18. And then open this a bit more so we can have just 3 lines. All right, and that should be good. And this can be there. Yeah, I think that's perfect. This is this perfect. We don't have to touch it. Last thing that we want to do is the phone landscape. So over here, I want to change. Let's start from 75. 75 seems perfect. Yeah, pixels. Let's do 75 too. That is good. Text, we can leave it there. And then for this, let's say position, modified, make this position relative. Cool. The size of this should be 100%. All right. Then this should be 0. And that should be 0. Okay. So I'm just going to click on this div, go here, and then give this 20 pixel spacing. All right. So this image that we have, this circle thing that we have here, probably reduce it a bit more. In percentage, make that a 50 pixels, right? Let's do pixels. Make that, yeah, probably 100. It's okay. For the dividers, I'm going to hide one. So this one, definitely go to responsive, go to hide on breakpoint. We are on the mobile. So hide on these ones. Hidden. All right, so we have these over here. I think this too is good. Let's go into this mode. All right, so over here, I want to okay. Right, so I want to change the text. Change this text to 56. Perfect. Leave this alone. All right, the project, go to global styling, primary, size. I'm going to do custom. I'm going to do 20, 45, 45, 20. And then we're going to do the typography, the type. We want to change this one to, let's say, 26. We go up, what happens? Okay, let's do just 24. 24 should be good, and close that. I think that should be good. Probably it looks too big. So 15, 15, 35, 35. I think that is more appropriate for that. All right. That is good. For now, we're going to do like the rest of these. Let me go back into the structure panel. Let's start working on other stuff that needs some attention to. Okay, so this is good. Go to that. Okay, over here, we want to make sure that we do have this in 2, right? All right, so go here, custom, the size, this is the layout. All right, 50% on that. There's no working. Make sure that this is also stacking on phone. All right. If we choose stacking on this, it's still not going to work, but yeah, that is what we have now. So let's save this. But let's say 50% on that. So this is 3, but it doesn't look good. So there is no. All right. So let's say we go in the column and then let's go to size, layout, size, right? Spacing. Let's put 0. And then let's make this like 15. Apply to all the sides. All right, so 15 might work. So click on this, space, 15 on all sides, space. Click on this, 15 on all sides. All right, that is good. Let's the spacing in between, we want to reduce that to, let's make this a 5. And then padding should be a 10. Container. All right, I just want to click on that, go into. All right, so for this very one, I'm going to go into spacing and then give this. I'm not going to do the tab, just here, 10, 10. Go to the column. The spacing over here should be 5. Let's give this a 10 too, so that we have some breathing space. All right, so this is good. The tab for mobile shouldn't be 90. Let's do something like 65. I think 65 is pretty good. 65 is good. 65 is good. All right. All right. So what was this is what, 10. All right. So probably we might want to make this one also a 10. All right. Let's make this. Might have to do a few more calculations. All right. This is good. Okay. Let's just save this. If anything, we'll come back again. All right. So this should reduce its size. Let's make this probably 75. 75 is too small. Let's make 100. 175. Let's make this also 175. All right, perfect. Let's go click on this section. 10. 10. I think I'm going to reduce this so that, because it's bleeding too much to the edge. I'm going to make it this way for this size. I think that is good. All right, let's click on this section. Make it also 15. 15. That's good. So the space between the galleries should definitely not be image. Where is the layout? Gap should just be 5. Oh, no, sorry. Where's the gap? Okay, 5. Okay, it's working now. I think this is fully responsive down here. All right. Okay, let me save that and move to the next one. Okay, so over here, I want to make sure I'm looking for the column, right? These are the columns. Layout. All right, that is good. All right, so I wanted to start from here. All right, so this should be good. Let's change a few things to make this one work. Let's do 120. All right, 136. 136. I'm just gonna change the line height pixel. 136. Then this one to probably change that image height, right? 136. That's to line height pixel 136. A few more. All right. All right, this should be well. I just need to make this a bit more smaller. Okay, probably just go up a notch. All right, that is good. This is 136 with line height of 98. So let's change the line height of this one to 98. All right, that is cool. Yeah, we can leave this here like that. I don't think we have to change anything much on that. Probably change this one, the size of this to probably 36. The last one, yeah, I can change this one also to 36. Seems too big. Change this one also to 36. Custom 36. This can also lead. Make sure we give this one a right tag, H2. And then for the typography custom, we want to make this one also a 36 on here, like that. All right, so this is good. Save it. The next one that we need to do is this. I think we started with this. Everything is fine. Pupil. All right, that is good. Go to mobile. All right, so probably in here, layout for this, probably you can center it. Yeah, I don't think it's wrong to do that. All right, so that is good. That's when we want to change this one to probably 26. And we have to work on this. All right, let's do 72. 72 is fine. The height of this image, you want to do 36. And then for the 72, we want to make sure that we have done due diligence. Bring it all the way down. We can make it a bit more bigger. Yeah, we can do something like this. Let's give it a bit of breathing space. All right, that's good. Click on this image. The height, we have to work on that now. Okay, a few more on it, and then we should be good. Yeah, that is good. All right, so this is 80, and then the line height is 60. So let's do 80 for now. Change the line height pixels and do 60. That is perfect for that. I'm going to change this one to pixel, make it 25. All right, that is good. Everything here is fine. you can leave that. So this is scrollable, so you can scroll through this. On vertical, we can do we don't really have to do that. I think I'll leave it this way. That is for the layout. We can look for the bar responsive show drop down. So when you click, you can just click here and then see the drop down, but you can change it to show, so that you can, if people want to scroll, they will see that, okay, there's white dead in issues. I think probably I might choose a drop down. Drop down is simple. It's more efficient. It doesn't look nice. That's better. Let's use this thing over there. That should be good. Let's go down. All right. So for this form, this section, it needs to have 15 on the side, 15 on this side. All right. But our form itself is pretty big. So let's go here, container. Okay. So it looks like this is a one fit all size then. So what I'm going to do is go back to desktop, go in here, and then I want to add a div. And then put this inside, and then make sure that this doesn't have, I'm going to cut that, click on this div, and then for the div, the container, the width should be this. All right, so that is good. So now let's go through everything, make sure that this is working fine. All right, it's good. Don't really have to change much. All right, so this needs to change to probably 56. All right, let's make this a bit more. 34. All right, what we need to do is make this into pixels and do 56. Let's close this a bit more. All right, and then we just need to make this a bit more smaller. Let's see how it looks. Okay, one notch down. All right, we're just gonna do 49. 49 is okay. It looks like it's because of this. That's why causing that issue. So we can make this a bit more smaller. Then it fits nicely. Maybe go up a little. All right, I think that is good. What's the size for this? 67 and 48. So let's put 67. And then line height, let's put 48. Make sure you change this one to pixels. All right, that is good. What is the type for this? We can make this 16. Yeah, that is okay. On this, the layout, 2 columns is good for me. I don't want one. Okay, so 2 should be well. All right, so it looks like we've gone through the whole thing. All right, so one more thing that I'm going to do is to make this picture. I don't think it should be that big. Okay, that is good. Yeah, this is fine. I'm going to touch this. Leave this alone. Okay, this size, let's do 42. Probably 42 is too big. Okay, 30 is good. Line height should be 30 pixels too. Yeah, so that looks clean. That is good. and then 30 pixels for line height. That's good. I'm gonna leave this alone. I'm gonna touch that. All right. I think we are fairly good. All right. Let's look at how responsive this is. Let's refresh. Okay, and let's make this responsive. Yeah, so fully responsive. If we're going to drag it out, then drag it in. Okay. So if let's say we have iPhone, responsive on an iPhone, what about a tablet? Let's say we have a tablet, iPad mini, responsive. iPad Air, also responsive. So we have built a portfolio website that is fully responsive using Breakdance Page Builder. At the moment I think we are on our second hour through this, depending on how the editing will go, but we should be in and around there. So within probably 2 hours, if I wasn't talking, I might have run through this a bit more faster. But within an hour or two, we've been able to build this design that we see over here. Let me delete that and zoom out so you can see it. So this design, we've been able to build it whilst I'm still speaking under probably 2 hours going in. All right, so this is good for me. I really like what we have done here. I love the layout. It is on point. Our pictures are also really nice. And as you can see, I put this beautiful stuff over here built with Breakdance. So we can do BWB, built with Breakdance, not BBW. Not BBW, BWB. So that should be good. All right, so mostly, let's say if you're done, you should be able. Oh, one more thing that we didn't do, we need to put the anchor links here so that when people click on them, they'll be able to go down there. To do that, we're going to go to our, let's save this and then go to our back end, go to appearance and then menu. And then over here, we want to add service, should be, let's collapse everything and then make this into desktop. Our service section is here. So over here, I'm going to go to down here and then look for what you call it, advanced. Call this one services. So copy that, go back to our back end, and then give this one services with a hash. Mostly want to put the hash there. That is good. Next one is portfolio. Let's call this one portfolio. Copy that. Go here. Look for our portfolio. I think we already have something in here. All right, so let's call this one portfolio. That is good. Next thing that we have is classes. So let's call this one classes. Then underscore C. Then come here. This is our classes. Go to advanced and then ID. Delete that. That is good. Last but not the least is contact. So let's put in contact underscore C. Copy that. Go in here. Go to the form. Go to advanced. Okay, we already have this, so I'm gonna just copy that. Go here and then just change this one to what we have already there. And that should be well. Just save it. All right, fully saved. Let's refresh. If you put the right thing over there, it's going to come all the way down to here so you can do what you want. So this is how you create anchor links like this to attach it to sections in your website with a one-page website portfolio like what we have designed here. If we click on this, it brings us here. If we click on here, it takes us to the form. If we go up and we click on start, it takes us to the form. So that is how you create a website using Breakdance and WordPress. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or any comment, you can leave them down in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Right now we are at around 475. So if you can subscribe to the channel, if you also haven't liked the video, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will be able to know that people are watching and people like it. Then they will show it to other people. Hey, as always, my name is Nyako. This is OB Studios. Catch you in the next one.